Looking through the lens, opinions of three friends. Looking through the lens, sometimes they don't make sense. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Through the Lens with your boys from the Unholy Trinity. I'm your host, Zephyros. On my left is the SCL.
That is me, indeed.
And on his left is the Patronus Gold.
I am the Patronus Gold, yes.
The one and only. Today we are reviewing a movie called The French Dispatch, released
I'm just gonna leave it at
the
a movie.
Liberty, Kansas Evening
Yes.
Sun.
What's that mean?
That's the full title.
Oh, doesn't say here on IMDb.
Oh, it does. When I was going to the cinema, that's what they called it.
Oh, damn.
The French is. Oh, it does. It calls it. That's what it comes up with on Google.
It just says The French Dispatch on IMDb. Anyway,
Well, I think the film is just called The French Dispatch.
is that like the subtitle?
Well, yeah, it's like the full title,
Right.
and then IMDb just calls it the French Dispatch.
True. Anyway, The French Dispatch released October 2021, apparently. It is a love letter to journalists set in an outpost of an American newspaper in a fictional 20th century French city that brings to life a collection of stories published in the French Dispatch magazine. Is the city fake?
Oh.
Damn,
City being
fake
this
city.
city.
Well, directed by Wes Anderson. Written by Wes Anderson, Roman Coppola, and Hugo Guinness. A screenplay by Mr. Wes. Stars Benicio del Toro, Adrian Brody, Tilda Swinton, Lisa Dürr, Frances McDormand, Timothy Chalamet, Lina Kaduri, Jeffrey Wright, Matthew Almaric, Steve Park, a lot of people, Bill Murray, Owen Wilson,
Owen Wilson,
uh,
Tony
Henry Winkler,
Jason Schwartzman,
yeah, that guy,
Edward Norton.
the
So
Larry
many people.
Pine, yeah, a lot of people in this one.
Everybody's in. Oh, Willem Dafoe.
Oh yeah, he was. He the prisoner guy.
Yeah.
That was cool. Anyway, what did y'all think about this one?
Pretty cool.
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is Wes Anderson. Oh. My mom is texting me. Hold on.
This is a Wes Anderson movie.
Dum. It is indeed. I mean, Wes Anderson is just, his film style is super unique, and one of his films, The Fantastic Mr. Fox, was basically my childhood.
I never watched that movie.
So maybe we should do a post-mortem retrospective review on it.
Sure, if
I'd
you want.
like to just watch it again.
Post-mortem. Wes Anderson died.
I meant retrospect. In retrospect. But yeah, I mean, like, watching this film, I was immediately like, oh, this is a Fantastic Mr. Fox, and realized they were the same director. I was like, oh, that's cool.
I've seen several of Mr. Anderson's films. I gotta say, it's really, if you like his style, you'll probably like this film. I think story-wise, it's not quite as like Grand Budapest Hotel, but it's still really cool to see all these actors, including Bill Murray, who's like in every Wes Anderson film, I think. And yeah, it's pretty good. I like it a lot.
He's also in Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Yo.
My favorite. Anyway, yeah, this is quite the movie. Quite the artsy Wes Anderson. I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
How's the acting with the all-star cast?
Oh, exceptional.
Oh.
Everyone's so good.
Definitely.
Super.
So Timothy Chalamet is pretty hot.
Yeah, why is Timothy in everything these days? What's his deal, man?
I mean, he started out in the indie scene, right? Well, I mean, like his major breakthrough role was in the with what's it called? Call Me by Your Name.
But it seems like he's getting
But he's actually he does a lot of these.
yeah, he's getting roles in every movie that came out in the later half of the year, last year.
Because he's a great actor and he's hot.
Each hot, oh my god. Is that what the kids are saying these days? Oh my god, Timothy's so hot. Is he the
Yeah.
new who was hot back in 2008?
2008. I don't remember. I was 4 years old.
Is he the new Harry Styles? Because Harry Styles is old now.
The Harry Styles is Turtles.
Eternals, what? Turtle.
Remember, he's in Eternals.
Was he in Eternals?
He plays the sexiest Eternal. Stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Anyway, great acting by everyone.
Yes.
Is that right? Is that right? Now that we've gone through that, writing.
I reckon the writing in this, it's classic Wes Anderson humor. The dialogue's all very, very good, as you'd expect from a Wes Anderson production. I think because this is like an anthology,
Yeah.
absolute banger. And it's kind of a bit hard to get invested that much, at least for me personally, as it was in his, unlike what it was in his other films. And it doesn't quite hit me on that emotional level. But basically everything else I feel is like good.
Well, it's a sequence of short stories, basically, right?
Yeah, that's anthology.
So I think like it's not the point to be invested in each of the stories. It's just like here's a story, very nice, very
Yeah.
nice. But with the anthology kind of dealio, gives us a nice range of like. It's a nice showcase of the range Mr. Wes Anderson can do in terms of stylistics
Style.
and whatnot. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it also feels like you're reading a newspaper.
Yes.
It's like what
So
the
it's like article by article, right?
I like
As
that.
the movie intended. So it's great. Very nice. Next up, we have cinematography.
Oh, it's Wes Anderson. We're just talking about him.
Yeah.
Cinematography's popping off, mate. Absolutely popping off.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Super cool stuff. Just like it's like one of the things where he like tries to appeal to nostalgia, right?
Kind of.
So like olden style cinematography.
Well, he caters to the time period.
It's actually just his style of cinema. It's not because most old movies don't actually look like this. He does like specific things with the camera and the way he uses mise en scene and stuff. Because he's also one of the things he does for humor is he does visual gags. A lot of like jokes to do. Like he's not gonna. It's not just dialogue. It's like things that are around.
He draws penis jokes on the wall.
He does draw penis jokes on the wall.
Visual gag. Anyway, speaking of visual gags,
as some trivia.
Sorry,
Real quick with the cinematography. It was 5mm film.
5mm.
Two different cameras. Like I think these are all discontinued motion picture cameras used for
Yeah.
the black and white.
Yeah.
He preferred classic methods for shooting the scenes. They use scaffolding and hold equipment on ropes rather than a technocrane, and
That's
use
really
golf
cool.
carts for transporting cameras rather than camera cars.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
5mm is
Very
an
nice.
interesting format. Like, I think that's barely used anymore. I mean, the smallest size would be
Right.
18mm film for a motion film, usually. But yeah,
Yeah.
super hipster on that, on the film choice.
Yeah.
I mean, even what's that other film using film? I mean, these days filmmakers who use film, they just use 35mm Kodak Vision. That's like the standard. But yes, this guy is a true film enthusiast if he's using discontinued film 5mm nonsense.
Beautiful nonsense.
Yes. As a fellow film goer myself. Not goer. Film aficionado. As in like film. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Not movie film, but
And not movies.
film.
I just like the film. Great stuff. Shall we go into the visuals and editing?
Yes,
do it.
sure.
Lot of stuff here. I guess going back to the film and camera choice, that goes into the style as well.
Yeah.
And the time, how he adjusts each story with the time period, camera wise and stylistic wise. But generally, but his shooting style is still his. But visually, yeah. Do you reckon?
He alternates between like black, white, and color, which for me was very helpful when telling the story because it's a non-linear narrative. So I
Yes.
could tell like when they're going back in time, when they're doing the thing. I think I should talk about this writing, but another thing I thought was cool was they kind of play off the characters and like the journalists with like the bigger egos and stuff because they'll do like a fictional for example, I'm thinking of the art collector, like the art reviewer lady. She does like a big presentation, which isn't
Oh, yeah.
real, but that's like the way she views what her newspaper stories are like, as if she's at like an art show. And then they'll do like the black and white behind like the actual story she's telling. Same with Jeffrey Wright thing. He was in like a talk show or something,
Yes.
and then they flash back to the chef story and like, yeah, and I think that's really cool.
Was the whole
Absolutely.
thing in 4:3, by the way?
I think it's
so.
1.37 by 1, which is 4 by 3, right?
And the whole thing was,
1.37 to
did they
1.
have, I think for the just like title
was
screens, they'll
most
use
scenes.
16 by 9.
Hmm.
But for the stories themselves, they're in 4:3. If I'm not mistaken. Cool. Visual thingies.
Yeah.
Sets
And
are
they even
great.
do animation in this.
Oh yeah,
I guess
even
that's
sets and costumes are great. The animation bit, they had a cartoon bit based on the
Yeah.
general cartoons in the newspaper, right?
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
It was pretty reminiscent of something like, I don't know, Tintin's.
Yeah. Well, the Tintin's
It
French,
actually
right?
says here that let's see, the animated segments was directed by Gwen Germain, who worked on Isle of Dogs, as a nod to Angoulême's comic heritage. Though they were done entirely by local illustrators, the team comprised of a maximum of 15 people. Their main inspirations were Blake and Mortimer and The Adventures of Tintin.
Yeah, because that's a French comic, isn't it?
Yeah. It took 7 months to complete the animated bits.
That's
So
cool.
hand animated.
I guess so. Yeah.
Nice. It's great. All right. Audio and music.
What do you think? It was good from what I remember.
Yeah, it was actually. I felt like it was. It's definitely Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Felt very Wes Anderson, and it was really cool. It wasn't anything that like truly really stood out, but it's just super unique.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Super
I agree. Spoilers then?
All right.
Cool. Almost spat on my water. Chose a bad time to drink some water. I'm drink some more right now.
Timestamp over there, ladies and gents, and we'll start off with what? Anything to mention that y'all would like to say?
Because this movie doesn't really have a story. There isn't really much I could spoiler nitpick thing about. This is it. Kind of is what it is. So it's like
I don't really have any like individual bits that I necessarily had any issues with.
No. Trying to think of stuff.
I mean, we go through each bit of each section of the thing.
like
Film.
talk about each story.
First one was the cycling reporter.
Well, firstly, you get like the overall narrative, which is that
Yes.
Bill Murray's character passes away, and then they have to do an obituary. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that the last bit? Did they do that in the first bit?
Yeah,
That was the
last bit.
It was the entire thing. Like that was the setup and the because it's like it's like that's the story, and then inside is
Right. But why would you do an obituary and then you put your own stories in there?
no. The story, the actual story of the film is they're making an obituary. They're making the final issue of the magazine. So like at the start of the film, if you remember, they find that he's passed away, and they're like, "Oh shit, we gotta do some stuff, eh?" And then you get a flashback to before he died, and he's compiling the newspaper, right?
No. Okay.
And then you got the first story, which is Owen Wilson going, "Wow, the city, wow."
Well, the city shit, but nice.
Yeah, that was
felt
funny.
like that
I
was
liked that part.
It was a nice thing, I guess, an introduction to the city, but I felt like it was the most, more like the least, exciting story, I guess. Yeah.
I do agree. It's kind of just like a funny little skit.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson.
Mr. Wilson riding bike. Story number 2.
The art one, right? Was the art one?
Concrete masterpiece.
Yes.
That's the art one.
art one.
That one's pretty interesting.
It's kind of cool.
You know, I was watching that and I thought, oh, that lady looks familiar. And
Tilda Swinton.
Yes. Occurred to me that I recognized her from Death Stranding before anything else she did.
She's in Death Stranding?
Yeah, Fragile. The lady from that one.
She's
Mind blown.
Wait, no. Tilda, like the main lady. That's not the main. You're talking about the French police officer.
Yeah, no, wasn't the French police officer Lacey Seydoux?
Yeah. I thought you were talking about Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, I'm not fucking talking about Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, it's the one doing the thing.
Speaking of the guard lady, I remember making a TD joke, but I don't remember what the joke was.
Nice.
Unfortunately. Because she was naked at one point, or multiple times.
multiple times.
Anyway,
Nice.
I like that story.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I think at one point did they switch to color in this one, or was that just for
Well, they
the
did whenever
presentation
Tilda
segments?
Swinton was talking. Because remember, she's like giving a presentation, but then the
Yeah,
story
yeah.
is like inside the presentation.
True. Right.
Then the next one, I believe, is that the Timothy Chalamet one.
Yeah. The student
Revisions to a
protests.
manifesto.
That was like actually one of the. I think that might be like my favorite. Actually, I don't know. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yes.
Political drama when they play chess, and they're like kids' revolution.
Yeah, bro. Student revolution. All they needed was a fuck to
Yeah, that was actually that was funny.
just to agree on shit, I guess. No.
It's red, but Timothy Chalamet's hot.
But the funny thing is, he doesn't speak French, so like, well, everyone else does.
Yeah.
And then he dies in a funny
People
way.
die in this film.
He died for the revolution. What was the revolution?
Yes, sir.
That bit made the people in the audience next to me go, "Oh,
I'm gonna go, Timothy."
yeah." It even made me kind of, "Oh,
I just thought it was kind of stupid. Once he climbed up the thing, I was like, "Oh, he's gonna fall and die,"
yeah,
and he did.
yeah."
Great stuff.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
All right. The next story is Willem Dafoe.
The police
chef.
chef, and he Asian.
DB.
I realized that entire series of a description could have been taken the wrong way. Willem Dafoe is Asian and is the main character.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Willem Dafoe is only a what do you call him? Very important character in this story.
Yes.
Anyway, it's a food article that became the hostage situation bit.
That was pretty clever.
Yeah.
For some reason, this is the one that I found the most boring, and I fell asleep.
Why,
like a
dude?
few
I like
minutes.
this one. It's a boom boom.
I don't know why.
And they're talking about Mamma Mia food, man. I was like, oh, oui. This is the one when they switch.
Animation.
Yeah, the animations. So where they switch with the interview.
For the animation, so that's good.
And the story.
Then the final thing is like the actual obituary, right?
Yep.
Actually, they show the obituary,
No.
or do they cut?
They show us them writing it.
Yeah, that's right. And then they cut. That is the film in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And all of it amazing. Well,
Amazing.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Shall we verdicts?
Yes, sir. Time for the verdicts. Welcome back, everyone who skipped. I'll start off with my verdict. It's a pretty nice film. An enjoyable anthology of stories based around. Is this a real newspaper or is it fictional? Apparently, the city's fictional. Fictional newspaper.
It is fictional.
The newspaper is also fictional.
Fictional newspaper. And, Mr. Anderson, Wes Anderson, makes cool movies. This is definitely one of them.
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, Mr. Anderson. I forgot.
a
I'm trying to
major-
think of a line from what's his name, Mr. Agent Man, but I can't remember. I'll think about it
I
later.
was going to say Will Smith, but it's Agent.
Not Will Smith. Yeah, Agent
Not Will
Smith. Anyway,
Agent
great
Smith.
film. Quite
They're all Asian.
enjoyed it. I'll give it a 8 out of 10.
Cool, because I was feeling an 8.5.
I was also feeling 8 out of 10.
All right, combined average of what, like 8.2 if we're rounding. Go for an 8.2.
Nice. Radio. Tell us what you think about the French Dispatch in the comments below. And
Yo, yo, yo.
did you enjoy this film? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should we review next? Tell me, Mr. Anderson, what good is a phone call if you're unable to speak?
Anyways, thing.
And then he becomes an
don't know.
alien from Doctor Who. With no mouth. Anyway, we'll be seeing you in the next episode. Toodaloos.
Bye-bye.
Matane.